Hi everybody, and today I'm gonna read you the next part of the Peter Rabbit, and that is the tale of the Squirrel Nutkin. This is a tale about a tale. A tale that belongs to a little red squirrel, and his name was Nutkin. He had a brother called Twinkleberry and a great many cousins. They lived in a wood at the edge of a lake. In the middle of the lake there is an island covered with trees and nut bushes. Amongst those trees stands a hollow oak tree, which is the house of an owl who is called Old Brown. One autumn, when the nuts were ripe, the leaves on the hazel bushes were golden green, Nutkin and Twinkleberry and all the other cousins came out of the wood and down on the edge of the lake. They made many little rafts out of twigs, and they paddled away over the water to Owl Island to gather nuts. Each squirrel had a little sack and a large oar, and spread out his tail for a sail. They also took them an offering 3 fat mice as a present for Old Brown, and put them upon his doorstep. Then Twinkleberry and the other squirrels each made a low bow and said politely, "Old Mr. Brown, will you favor us permission to gather nuts upon your island?" But Nutkin was excessively impertinent in his manners. He bobbed up and down like a little red cherry, saying, riddle me, rot tote tote." A little wee man in a red coat, a staff in his hand and a stone in his throat. If you tell me this riddle, I will give you a groat. This riddle is as old as the hills. Mr. Brown paid no attention whatever to Nutkin. He shut his eyes obstinately and went to sleep. The squirrels filled their little sacks with nuts. They sailed away home in the evening. The next morning, they all came back to our island. Twinkleberry and the others brought a fine fat mole and laid it in the stone in front of Old Brown's doorway and said, "Mr. Brown, will you favor us with your gracious permission to gather some more nuts?" But Nutkin, who had nervously began to dance up and down, tickling old Mr. Brown with the nettle and singing, "Old Mr. B, riddle me ree, hitty-pitty within the wall, hitty-pitty without the wall. If I touch you, hitty-pitty, hitty-pitty will bite you." Mr. Brown woke up suddenly and carried the mole into his house. But he shut the door in Nutkin's face. Presently, a little thread of blue smoke from a wood fire came up from the top of the tree, and Nutkin peeped through the keyhole and sang, "A house full of whole food, you cannot gather a bowlful." The squirrels searched for nuts all over the island and filled their little sacks. But Nutkin gathered oak apples, yellow and scarlet, and sat on a beach slump playing marbles and watching the door of old Mr. Brown. On the third day, the squirrels got up very early and went fishing. They got 7 fat minnows as a present for Old Brown. They paddled over the lake and under the crooked chestnut tree on Owl Island. Twinkleberry and 6 other little squirrels each carried a fat minnow, but Nutkin, who had nice manners, but no reason at all. He ran in front singing, "The man in the wilderness said to me, 'How many strawberries grow in the sea?' I answered him as I thought good, 'As many red herrings grow in the wood.'" But old Mr. Brown took no interest in riddles, not even when the answer was provided for him. On the fourth day, the squirrels brought a present of 6 fat beetles, which were as good as plums, plum pudding, which were as good as plums, or plum pudding for Old Brown. Each beetle was wrapped up carefully in a dock leaf, fastened with a pine needle pin. But Nutkin sang as rudely as ever, Old Mr. B, riddle me ree, flower of England, fruit of Spain, met together in a shower of rain, put a bag tied around with a string. If you tell me this riddle, I will give you a ring." Which was ridiculous of Nutkin. He had not got any ring to give to Old Brown. The other squirrels hunted up and down the nut bushes, but Nutkin gathered robin's pincushions of a briar bush and stuck them full of pine needle pins. On the 5th day, they brought a present of wild honey. It was so sweet and sticky that they licked their fingers as they put them down in the stove. They had stolen out of a bumblebee's nest and on the tippity top of the hill. But Nutkin skipped up and down, saying, "Hum a bum buzz buzz, hum a bum buzz," as it went over the Tippletine and met a flock of bunny swine, some yellow naked and yellow backed. They were the very boniest swine that went over the Tippletine. Old Mr. Brown turned up his eyes in disgust at the impertinence of Nutkin, but he ate up the honey. The squirrels filled their little sacks with nuts, but Nutkin sat up on a big flat rock and played nettlings with the crab owl and the green fir cones. On the 6th day, which was Saturday, The squirrels came again for the last time. They brought a new laid egg in a little rush basket as a last parting present for Old Brown. But Nutkin ran in front, laughing and shouting, "Humpty Dumpty lies in the bed, white with the counterpane around his neck. 40 doctors and 40 wrights cannot put Humpty Dumpty to rights." Now old Mr. Brown took an interest in eggs. He opened his eye and said again, but he still did not speak. Nutkin became more and more emergent. Old Mr. B, old Mr. B, hickamore, hackamore, and the king's chicken floor, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't drive hickamore, hackamore off the king's chicken's floor. Nutkin danced up and down like a sunbeam. Still, Old Brown said nothing at all. Nutkin began. Arthur O'Bower had broken his hand. He comes roaring up the land. The King of Scots with all his power cannot turn Arthur off the bower. Nutkin made a whirring noise like the sound of the wind and took a running jump right onto the head of Old Brown. There was all once a flutterment and a supplement of a loud squeak. Other squirrels scuttled away into the bushes. When they came back very cautiously, peeping round the tree, Old Brown was sitting in the doorstep with his eyes closed, as if nothing was happened. But Nutkin was in his waistcoat pocket. This looks like the end of the story, but it isn't. Old Brown carried Nutkin into his house, held him up by the tail, intending to skin him, but Nutkin pulled so hard that his tail broke in two. He dashed in the staircase and escaped out of the attic window. And to this day, if you meet Nutkin up in a tree and ask him a riddle, he will throw sticks at you and stamp his feet and shout, "Cuck, cuck, cuck, cur, cuck." So that is the end of the story, and see you next time with the story, The Tailor of Gloucester.